Today we're going to talk about the top tips to keep you safe while you're riding. What's up guys, Chef here at Riding Free. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time stopping by, thank you for stopping by. We're going to talk about the top tips to keep you safe while you're riding. And it is the peak of riding season. Everybody's out having a good time. So we're going to talk about some things, like I said, that'll keep you safe when you're riding. The more you know, better off you are. Sounds like that was something like on a Saturday morning cartoon or something, like the more you know kind of thing. So that's today's segment. So first thing we're going to talk about, number one on the list is number one, you. So when you look at motorcycle crashes, let's just get the taboo out of the way right off the rip. A large percentage, something like 53% of single motorcycle crashes involve the rider being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So the number one thing is you got to control number one. You got to control you. And you know, we all like to go out and have fun. We all like to, you know, go ride to a bike night or bar, have some adult beverages. But you have to understand that it is going to affect you significantly different on a motorcycle. So when you're operating a normal vehicle, you have four wheels, there's no leaning, there's no, you know, significant swing on your equilibrium. And when you have drugs or alcohol in your system, that affects your equilibrium. That's why when you see law enforcement officers doing field sobriety exercises, a lot of them have to do with your equilibrium and following instructions. So if you control yourself and moderate what it is that you do, you're going to reduce your risk of being in an accident, especially a single motorcycle accident. I mean, that number is pretty staggering. Over 50% of the crashes of single motorcyclists involve something that we can control. And like I said, that's pretty significant. I'm all for fun, but I'm also all about going to where I'm going and getting home at the end of the ride. That way I can ride another day. So you got to learn how to control that aspect of it. I'm not saying not go out and have some fun, but control is an issue. Control is key. So number two on the list kind of goes with number one, and that is know your limitations when you ride. And the reason why I bring that one up is because looking at motorcycle crash statistic numbers, especially single motorcycle accidents, okay, which is no outside force other than the motorcycle, so no other vehicles. We're looking at things that fall onto us, and an alarming number of motorcycle accidents and single bike crashes involve us riding beyond limitations. So I kind of break that down into two subsections. The number of accidents involving speeding is pretty significant. And what's interesting is when you look at the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration statistics on motorcycle crashes, they have like a big chart on speeding and the age of the motorcyclists, which is kind of interesting to look at. And when you look at it, yes, we figure that the younger guys on sport bikes are going to be in that speeding category, and they are, but the number of involved motorcyclists actually goes up when you get into older adult males being on their motorcycle. So that one kind of just dickhead blowing your grass on the road, that kind of made me just scratch my head. But if you think about it too, with the number of crashes, most motorcycle crashes occur during the day, and the number of crashes that occur at night a little bit smaller. but the number of crashes involving older male occupants of the motorcycle are higher on the weekends. So when I put those two things together, I'm not knocking anybody in their riding style, but when I put those two things together, you know, you get a lot of people who just strictly go out riding on the weekends, the weekend warrior people, which is great that they're out riding. However, you know, what is the experience level of some of those riders? And you know, a lot of these guys are just getting out and trying to have some fun and probably rolling on the throttle, and it creates a problem. The second subsection to that is, you know, not riding beyond your ability. And a lot of motorcycle accidents occur in curves. Even if you look at like recent information that they just put out from accidents in Sturgis, a lot of those accidents were on curvy roads. And I know you're probably like, well, Chef, I know you haven't been to Sturgis, but it's all curvy out there. Yeah, I get it. However, when you look at the issue, a lot of it is people riding beyond their limitations. So one of two things is going to happen. Either you've got to control yourself and ride to your ability and skill, or B, my suggestion is you go out, ride as much as you can, and practice and get some more experience, and that will help you translate to a better rider and reduce your risk of crashing because you're riding beyond your limitations. All right, so number 3 on my list kind of goes with number 2 in limitations and keeping you safe, is using your head and eyes. And obviously, working in the Harley industry, I'm around motorcycles all the time. I watch people ride all the time. One of the things that I don't see people doing enough, and if you talk to any pro level rider or like any motor officer who rides exceptionally well, one of the things you hear them repeatedly say is head and eyes. So your body is going to go where your head is directing it to. It's a property called proprioception. Get into a little medical knowledge this morning, share that with you. But proprioception basically is your head knows where your body is at all times, and your body is going to follow your head. So that's why if right now I were to change lanes and look over my left shoulder, even before I start moving, the motorcycle would naturally drift to the left a little bit. Or that's the same reason why when you look to the right, you're trying to look at something, you walk into a wall or some other type of fixed object. So head and eyes becomes important when you're learning how to ride better and you're spending time practicing. If you ever watch motor officers go through cone courses, that to me is like the pinnacle of riding because it's slow speed. Everybody is worried about dropping. I mean, they just do some awesome skill level riding when you watch those cone courses. But if you watch them even just do a simple U-turn, once they start to get into the turn, their head is like way over their shoulder and their eyes are looking back and they're looking where they want to go. So I think practicing the head and eyes thing, especially with, you know, curves and how people are riding, is definitely something that will help keep you safer because you're allowing your body to do what it does naturally. If I'm specifically looking at the ground in front of me while I'm riding, that's what I'm going to be fixated on. I'm not looking at everything else up ahead of me. So you scan back and forth. Yeah, I want to see things that are directly in front of me, but I need to be watching down the road. That will help me out. That leads to number 4 on the list, and that is a large number, not the biggest number, but a large number of motorcycle accidents occur at intersections. According to NHTSA, 35% of motorcycle accidents occur when they collide with another vehicle at an intersection. So that becomes something that you want to be very cautious of. Head and eyes is going to be very important. If you're doing what we just talked about a minute ago, keeping your head up on the road, you will be much safer because you have an advanced notice, advanced warning when you see somebody like trying to pull out from you. Okay? Now, pro tip with that, and this is something I learned many years ago and has helped me and saved me along the way plenty of times, and that is to watch the tire of the vehicle and not the vehicle. A lot of people will physically watch the car, but when you think about it, the first thing that's going to move on the car is going to be the tire. So when that tire ends up moving, you're going to have a little more notice than you are if you watch the whole car itself. So you want to make sure to watch the tire. And like I said, if you do that, you keep your eye on the tire at an intersection, it will help you significantly. I am very cautious at intersections. I was involved in a motorcycle accident at an intersection, so especially cases where you're going through a green light and an intersection has a red light and you get those people that are looking to make a turn, that is probably one of the top times that motorcycle accidents occur. So if we're a little more cautious, we're scanning the road, we're watching as much as we can, we're using caution, that will help us out. Now, we just talked about motorcycle accidents occurring in intersections. Another thing to keep you safe is, believe it or not, the slab, the highway. The highway is actually safer than riding on roads with intersections. If you look at the numbers and statistics, a lot of people worry about being on the highway because it is faster and there's traffic, and I'm riding towards Atlanta, so you got a lot of stupid people out here. However, everybody's going the same direction. You really don't have any intersections with the exception of highway ramps, which brings me to this tip for you, okay? When you're approaching a ramp and you know that there is an on-ramp, all right, I always take a look at what's coming on that on-ramp. Now, in a regular route, like I'm going to work, I know where I'm at, I know to watch. It may not be as dramatic, but I definitely look at what's coming on the on-ramp. Here in a second, I'm going to get into a more congested area. You're going to have more traffic coming out onto the ramps, so you got to be paying attention to that. So watch your ramps. That's why a lot of people get on the highway and they completely go to the left lane, which definitely would keep them safer. However, if you're riding in the left lane and you're not riding fast enough, it could create issues where now people are going around you or people riding your ass, which we know everybody in the world hates. So when I get on the highway, I always at least get in the center lane. That center lane offers me the ability to go left or right if I need to, avoid an accident. I can pass people. Here in Atlanta, a lot of people drive like complete assholes, and I'm very cautious about getting in the left lane. I'll do it more in the evening when there's less traffic versus in the morning. So the highway is statistically safer for you. A lot of people just have some avoidance to it, and I understand that, but when it comes to roads, like I said, there's no intersections. It is definitely safer. Now, next tip, when you're on the highway specifically, you can use this on back roads. You have blind spots with other vehicles that you can't see. A lot of people may think that we're speeding around just like I did with that van, but it's not a matter of like racing them. It's getting onto the blind spot of that vehicle. Bigger vehicles, especially semis, have a harder time seeing and have a bigger blind spot. So when I'm going around a semi, I will make a very good effort to pass them quickly, so that way it keeps me safer. Watching people's blind spots is important because they can't see you. If you have a quiet bike, they can't hear you, so you're putting yourself in danger. So stay out of people's blind spots. Very, very important. I will make sure that I either, like I said, speed up or I'll slow down, put myself in a different perspective to that driver so that I keep myself safe. Another thing with being on the highway or any general road is make yourself a safety cushion. I've seen people ride, I've ridden with people who literally will just ride right up on another car's ass, and you're not really leaving yourself any room if anything were to happen. And accidents do happen, they happen all the time. You're not leaving yourself any room to avoid that crash or be able to respond when you are right up on somebody. So create yourself a little safety cushion. You know, give yourself a little space, pass somebody if you need to, but keep yourself in a safe position. And if you haven't noticed, a lot of these things go all the way back to number one, which is controlling yourself. Riding smarter keeps you safer. It's just a matter of common sense. Okay, next tip on the list is one that a lot of people probably don't think much about, and I know that 100% for sure because I've seen people's motorcycles. Watch your mirrors. Especially if you're on a multi-lane road or a highway, your mirrors become important. I've always been a person who watches my mirrors. Years ago, when I was in a motorcycle crash, I lost my left mirror, and that really created some issues getting on the highway and being able to watch behind me. So, watch your mirrors. You know, these guys that got these little tiny mirrors because they look cool is great. However, if you can't see what's in your mirror, it leaves you at a disadvantage. You never know when somebody's going to come flying up behind you. You never know if somebody's riding too close. You got to watch if you're going to pass somebody and go around where other cars are. So your mirrors become really important and will keep you much safer when you pay attention to them. All right, next one on the list is a good one. Be careful within the first 30 minutes of when it starts to rain. When the road is completely wet, it makes things much more slippery and more dangerous. Although less than 2% of motorcycle crashes occur during the rain, so that tells me that most people are cognizant of that and stay safe, or a lot of people just strictly don't ride in the rain. But within the first 30 minutes of riding in the rain, you have a lot of oil that is on the road, gasoline, and all of that stuff starts to get on the road surface, and it takes a little bit to wash off. So the most dangerous part about riding in the rain is that first 30 minutes, so use caution. And the last tip on our list to finish things out is maintaining your motorcycle. Talked about this religiously. I have videos out on it, and maintaining your motorcycle is super important because when you maintain your motorcycle, it keeps you safer. So that will do it for today's list. Just some things to talk about. If you have anything that I missed that's important, you think is a good tip, add it in the comment down below. We certainly appreciate your feedback. Guys, be safe, ride safe, enjoy your life, make the most of everything that it is that you do, live everything to the fullest, enjoy it when you're out riding, and thank those that allow us to be out riding free. Until next time, we'll catch you later.